What's up, guys? Zaid here, my boy Leon. We're actually at Frederick Regional right now, but last weekend he got 9th place at the Philly Regional.
We won top 8.
Yeah, it's almost top 8.
Yeah.
What'd you play, Leon?
Single digit. I played SwordSoul.
Let's see the list. Do you have anything you want to say before we get into it?
Not really. Shout out to nobody and Josh Wassam. Shout out to him. He's Josh Wassam.
Hell yeah.
He's good. He's not here. He's bald now. Yeah. But yeah, we can get right back into it.
I just got fine, but I think it's in my suitcase. I'll just bring it to you.
Oh, you do? Great Ecclesia.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't.
Every SwordSoul of the deck, pretty standard, pretty,
And the only one that's like an extender going second.
And it's a tuner, which is also really good.
9 minutes.
3 Moye, arguably the best one. Summons token, everyone should know what it does. Same thing with this, summons from hand, summons token, burns, really good.
Damn it, I was racing against
2 Tenyi instead of 1. I come into a lot of instances where one's good, but you want, I don't even know how to put this. I've drawn it enough to where it works out really good, but you don't want to run 3 to where like you kind of brick with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do anything, and you want to almost summon Moye.
You need to have played already. You have to open it with Long Yun and a thing, or with a Tenyi, or with the search it with the spell.
But with the with like the grind game and stuff, which this deck can do, and a lot of this meta is like grind gamey type shit. This guy comes in clutch like a lot. Like this guy is like, I've summoned him off of. I remember using one where I'd like banish one off of Desires, because I run Desires. I'd special her, and I'd special him. He had like a negate on board, like an imperm or something of nature. So I banish the trap, get the trap off, and this basically plays through the
it lets you still keep going.
Yeah. So I'd run this at 2, and again, I run Desires, so but you don't want to run 3, you don't want to break with it. And everyone with the Trudeau.
Now, is there any way to like utilize this card outside of drawing it? Can you dump it or anything, or you just draw it and it's an
Nah,
extender?
you just like draw it and you pray to God you're able to you pray to God you're able to use it.
It seems kind of sick going second, like say negate your Moye.
It's also for it's a good pitch for droplets, and you're able to just use it. Yeah. So, but other than that, this card basically plays around token collector. Because then you summon Yazi, or if you're going second and they imperm your guy or some shit, you just summon this, go in the Yazi pop. Then you go into Tenyi or whatever other one, and then you keep playing from there. So it worked really good on DB, but it hasn't worked that great playing at regional, so I'm probably gonna take it out. But it's a good side deck card. I'd side this thinking that they side token collector.
That's kind of cool to side and go in second to help clear boards.
Yeah. And then 3 Ash. They're not first, so we don't need it.
Peasant.
3 Surge Spell. It's Rhoda. I mean, you gotta run 3 Rhoda. 3 Droplets because that's what I just lost to.
Those are first out.
Yeah, they aren't first. I mean, it's like probably the best like. It's almost better than hand traps because sometimes hand traps are great because you're stopping your opponent, but like if you just hand trap them and they still play, it doesn't really like
Doesn't feel
matter.
too good.
But when you just draw droplets, like I lost to droplets.
It's like the way like treants are just like too.
This is like drawing Nib, but maybe even better. Because then they just play their shit, you get rid of their shit, and then what are they gonna do after that?
Nib that can't be negated by Griffin.
Yeah, and it's just like if you draw it, drawing Nib turn like 2 sucks. Drawing droplets turn 2, they're both ulti. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I got one-ups. I got one of these.
I'm glad you're on this. I've seen a lot of builds cut it, but I like this card.
No, this card's great. It's Monster Reborn. It's searchable Monster Reborn for the deck. This card plays through Nib if you do it right. It also summons like your level 10s and your 8s back if you really want it. Yeah, it's really good. One of these because
just one. Do you play Circle? I'm guessing.
Yes, I play 1 Circle.
Oh, just one of each?
Yeah.
How come?
Because the way my deck works right now, I forgot the Tenyis. I thought it was my side deck. So.
Oh yeah. I just realized we didn't go over them either.
I skipped them all.
We'll get to them.
So I maxed out on all the Tenyis. So I only need one of these because sometimes you just need the worm. And I've already maxed out on all of them, so I don't need to just constantly keep pitching in the grave. This guy summons this. You don't run this unless you run this. If they Ghost Ogre your Moye or something, and you summon the tuner, or if they imperm you chain this, you still get your token, you search this guy or another worm if you need it, and then you just special this and just go through all your level 8 plays. So it's really good to dodge stuff, and it's really only good if you're on this guy.
While we're on these, probably a good time to transition to the Tenyis we forgot.
Yeah. So.
You said you max out, right? So I'm guessing one's Thana and then 3 of the other 3?
Yeah. 3, 3, 3, and then 1.
I like that. I feel like the ratio that people play is this cut. They play 2 of it, but I think I like 3 because it's only 2 to 1.
I've banished multiples of Desires, so having the third one really helps. Desires is at 1 now, so I guess that might be like a good reason to not run 3. But honestly, like just seeing the worms. And all the Tenyis are just really good in general. I have like no problem running, 3 of each. It's just good. And it's good going second. If you go first, if you draw, 2 of these, if you draw this guy and this guy, or this guy and this guy, or these guys, you have like full light lockout combo and shit. So they can't nib you, or they're forced to nib you, and then you just summon Moye and you go.
Yeah, and you keep going.
So I mean, I like my ratio at this. This is 1/4 of my deck, so.
Do you play 40 flat?
I play 40 flat. And it's good because that's why I don't run the spell card, because the spell card's on a worm, and I've had a lot of instances where I run multiple dispel, and the spell's good, but if I don't have that normal monster, it makes it...
A brick, yeah.
It almost makes it a brick, and it sucks.
Like,
but it is still really good, and that's why I run one.
Moye Vessel isn't combo, but like
Yeah.
Moye and Adhara is.
And then Desires.
Should feel like home to you.
We know why I run Desires. 3 Imperm and 2 black.
Is this because of Desires too?
It is also because of Desires. So 3 Imperm because, good hand trap. So when I had to cut Desires, I was trying to think what they're on the deck, and I thought like, well, if I play 1 Desires and I use it and I banish this, it's really honestly not good. Because this is a really good card to hard draw or search. You definitely want to search it, but if you hard draw it, it's not even terrible because you can set it and it pops to, it does, pops to and it's a card you can reveal, which is also really important. Because a lot of times you want this deck for the consistency. You want to reveal for Moye, or if you banish it off a Taye, you get the extra shit. So you at least want 1 in circulation if that's not banished face down. So I like this at 2. Again, it's not enough to brick with it, not enough to not enough to draw too many of them. Oh, and if you have to pitch it off of Fire Guy Long Young, then you still have like 1 in deck to do things with. So. This wasn't organized. So I play 3 Monk and the 1 Shaman. I was running 2 Monk, and I almost cut the Shaman because there's a lot of times where it kind of felt like it wasn't good. But then again, on the flip coin, there's like a lot of times where it's really good. So I don't think you can cut it. And then I was just playing so many hands, playing so many just like duels, and I just realized, wow, I really need 3 Monk. Because there's a lot of times where you might go into 2 Monk turn 1 because you just have to, and then you might go in the Shaman, or you basically just need to get the other Tenyi and Graves, so you have to go in the 2 Monks.
Yeah.
So the third one is just to help, because then you'll typically add the yellow one.
I'm just trying to figure out what you cooked with the Monk. I want to see the rest of the extra deck.
I cut the level 10 banished, the Ready Rose.
Oh yeah.
It's already been cut.
It's really good.
Do you not play Herald?
No, he doesn't play Help.
Nope.
You play Hal?
It's
Yeah,
pure.
no 1 was in this list.
Yeah, this is
It's an extended
Summons Yazi.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. But 3 Monks really good, because when they think that they added both of your monks, and then they think they'll have to play around it, and when you special summon your guy, go for Monk, and they're like, oh wait. And then you can play. So I think 3 Monks stand for it. If you're not really pure,
I know
then
you want to play Hal. That's different.
yeah, if you're playing Halk, then you might have thrown 1 or 2 or whatever. We'll get into start on 2 of these, 1 of those. This, I mean, you can make this not with Destrudo, but you mainly use it for Strudo. But it's just really good. You gotta run it. You never know when you
don't
need
play
it.
E-Telly, right?
I do not play E-Telly.
Yeah, so it's not like
It's
coming
not-
up as often, but
It comes up enough.
yeah.
And then 2 Boxy, because Boxy shuffles and it's really fucking good. And if you don't have one, you want the other. And then you run this guy, because
Stop Nib.
yeah, stops nib. It's the Tenyi combo bullshit.
Beats Drytron if you play it.
You almost did draw droplets. That's why I lost to. It was Drytron because you had droplets twice. Isn't that great?
That's here in the Frederick one, not
That was
the
literally
Philly
just last
week.
round. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of
You
these.
can get this draw effect
Not
off a
one of
lot.
those. So if I'm already locked in the worms, I try to do the draw, but the only time I typically get my draw off is if I have the God hand, and that's where I go and pray to God. I guess they don't have nib.
Like long unpitched summon the normal
He goes
Moye.
this guy, goes into your, you guys summon your 10, so you summon him, but you have to have, you'd search the Monster Reborn, and you'd already have to have Taya in hand.
Yeah.
So you pitch the Taya for Long Young, and then you special Taya off the spell, and then you go into this guy. So this guy would let you send a card, you get the extra guy out, and then you just draw another card.
Yeah.
So it happens sometimes, but it only happens when I have the God Hand and I'm playing like he doesn't have Nim. So
I like this card a lot because like I play Flunderies right now, and if you get Worm Block and you end on this, it's the exact same as Baron. Because
Yeah.
this trades with my normal summon, and the Baron will trade with my field spell.
Sometimes,
but
depending on what my board is, I just go over this over Baron anyway. I know what they're playing.
Yeah.
Because this guy just does two things, and they're both really good, and they burns. So it's really good.
Puts them down 3,600 life, so on your turn you just got to do 44.
Yep. So and then this guy's he's really good. I run this in other decks that can make level 10. It's just really good. And then using my 3 offsuit.
This is weird. I don't think that's orthodox.
So he's obvious because he's just a Tenyi and he's
Yeah, gives you another worm level 8 when you're worm.
Yeah, sometimes
off.
when you shaman, you can only activate or only summon or use the effects of
Tenyies.
Yeah. So sometimes he just has to be made, but you don't typically make him. Baron's Baron. We know what Baron does. So the reason I run this over something else is because I played way too many Crooked Cook decks.
Oh, does it pierce?
It does piercing and attacks twice.
Oh, geez.
So you would just hit him twice, and he either has to play or I win by the next turn.
Yeah.
And it destroys. It has a lightning storm effect, where if you summon, you destroy all attack position monsters.
That's kind of sick.
And yeah, he does the piercing and he attacks twice. So that's why I run him, and he comes up sometimes. But it's mainly just for that.
Yeah.
He also, what he does, if he's destroyed by an opponent's card effect or battle, you can banish a water monster and then just summon it back and treat it as a tuner.
No, that's kind of nice.
So it's cool, but that effect doesn't really happen that much. So I don't really use that.
Now we got the side deck, baby.
So these were, for Philly, they were Danko.
So this was Danko Seka for the event?
Yeah, this was Danko Seka. This is what I sided in to play against this regionals. And I haven't played against the DP Brave stuff, so I didn't use it.
So how was the Danko though?
I didn't play it.
Wow.
It was mainly because if I was playing against like Eldritch, and I was just like, there you go. But I didn't really play any Eldritch. It was just Brave, DPE, and that one version deck.
Flu?
No, not Flu. Dino stuff. So, yeah, this card is really good. This is for Flu.
Oh, jeez, yeah, I'd be a little annoyed facing this
Yeah,
bad
go
boy
first
down.
or second, you just plop this on. Oh, I won.
Yeah.
Lancia, Lancia's, Lancia. 1 Duster and 3 Lightning Storm.
4 Duster.
I'm scared of back row. I don't want to see back row.
That's ironic. It's kind of your thing, right?
Yeah, coming from a guru player.
Yeah, coming from a guru player. I know how scary it is, and then I run 2 Kaijus.
All right, Sybil, any final words on the list?
I think I'm going to run the new SwordSoul guy coming out in the structure deck. Because if I had that guy instead of Strudo in my hand, I would have won games.
One new guy.
So there's a new guy. He's a light tuner. If your opponent declares an attack, you can special it, negate the attack, and then if you control Albaz thing or whatever, it destroys it. But it's really because it's a SwordSoul tuner monster. It's a SwordSoul tuner monster. It's not a worm, but it's a SwordSoul card. So it's another name. It stops the attacks, and your opponent's never going to see it coming. It's like Valkyrie.
That's kind of cool.
And if you normal summon it and have, if you Long Young and they token collect you or something, you just normal that and then you just go into place. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Or you can summon it off of the spell card. So if you only have, you summon Moye and you're in the grind game or some shit, you can summon it off of the spell and just go.
Does it negate your opponent's attacks or
Yes.
any attacks?
Any attack.
That seems like a
your
strong card,
opponent's attacks. I think
If you could attack with, if you could token collector,
it's the new SwordSoul guy. Yeah. I'm gonna play 1.
Main phase 2, go the fuck
It's
off.
it's better than I thought it was. Dude, Drytron literally just attacked me for game. If I just summon the SwordSoul thing, just have Destrudo in my hand, I would have won. But
Use every other game.
That everything, my man?
I think that's
All right, sweet. Thank you for the profile.
Yep, thank you.